Since I'm the fusion of Vegeta and Kakarot, I guess that makes me Vegeta. And this is Super Vegito!
What's going on, guys? Vegito here, and this is a Happy Halloween! And this is our 2021 Halloween special. You're probably wondering how this is gonna work. It's actually the grandson, Mr. Fuji. In this What If. If you play the Kanto games or watch Pokemon Origins, you'll know who this character is. As he's definitely an interesting character in this story, since Ash's spare Pokemon will stay in Mr. Fuji's house instead of Oak's lab. As I'm not gonna have a like goal for this part, as I want to see how this one does. Let's first, I'm going to be sure to subscribe so we can get closer to 1K by 1 year anniversary making videos on this channel. But enough shameless plugs. Let's get started. It's like I said, Ash is the grandson of Mr. Fuji, so he'll be a lot kinder towards Pokemon than he is in canon. He was already really kind towards Pokemon in canon, but he'll be even more so. Then instead of Team Rocket invades Lavender Town like Pokemon Origins, but instead of sending low-level grunts to do it, Giovanni has to send Jesse and James with a few grunts. As the very sad Cubone story happens, as Team Rocket kills Cubone's mother, and Mr. Fuji finds Cubone and then says, "Oh, you poor thing. Why don't you come with me and meet my grandson? So to give him his journey as a Pokemon trainer." So Cubone starts leaving Mr. Fuji's house, as it only opens up to Mr. Fuji and Ash. As Ash turns 10 years old and prepares to go off on his journey, but Ash wants to get Team Rocket out of the Pokemon Tower first. As Jesse and James see that grunts people when it's Team Rocket out, and Mr. Fuji like in Pokemon Origins. As Ash wants to see his grandpa, as Cubone wants to help him. So the two go to Pokemon Tower, as before Mr. Fuji got kidnapped, he gave Ash his Pokédex, which he managed to get from Professor Oak after making some calls and a few Pokeballs. As Ash and Cubone head to Pokemon Tower, as the two see the ghost, which will turn to be Cubone's mother, or as a ghost. Ooh, scary. As Cubone and Marowak reunite, as the ghost Marowak gives Cubone some of his power, which would change his ability to a new ability for this story called Spectral Flame. As it activates whenever Cubone's, and eventually Marowak's, emotions get intense. The kind of functions like a mix between Furnace Blaze and Battle Bond. Its eyes turn purple and has a ghostly aura. And it's supposed to see a lot more differences when it comes to Marowak. As it gets the ghost typing, it's turning into a grounded ghost type. As the Cubone turns to see the ghost kill its mother, as the Spectral Flame activates for the first time. As he uses the powerful Shuttle Ball to knock the grunts back. As Ash sees the Wild Haunter doing its comedy routine for some grunts. As Cubone hope to find Jesse and James as they tend to coughing at Atkins. As the Haunter Ash saw earlier appears to help out. As Cubone goes for a massive Shadow Bone, basically wielding it like a baseball bat. This has Team Rocket flying. As they didn't say, go blasting off. That Cubone is no ordinary Cubone. It must be exceedingly rare. A perfect prize. So it's how Jesse and James appeared in the story. As Ash has Cubone wants to be his first Pokemon. As Cubone agrees, tapping one of Ash's Pokeballs, allowing Ash to catch it. As Ash had, Ash thanks Haunter for helping him. As Ash has Haunter to come with him so he can show its comedy routine. Mr. Fuji. As Haunter agrees, Ash holds out a Pokeball, as Ash catches Haunter as well, bringing Stina 2. As he saves Mr. Fuji, as he asks Ash and Cubone will be his starter Pokemon, and Mr. Fuji also sees Ash call a Haunter. As Haunter would show Mr. Fuji its comedy routine, as Ash was with Mr. Fuji to go to Fuchsia City for his first gym badge. As he does, and after about 2 weeks of traveling, he arrives. As he also caught himself a Magikarp, as well as a Muck and a Magnemite. As he sent Muck to Mr. Fuji because of the smell. As he then challenges Koga, as well as a 2v2. As Ash decides to use Cubone and Magnemite, as Koga uses Venomat and Golbat. As Koga sends in Venonat, as Ash sends in Magnemite. As it goes for Thundershock, dealing a good bit of damage. As Venonat tries going for a Psychic, which works, dealing some decent damage to Magnemite. As Venonat manages to evolve into Venomoth, using Buzz to get the upper hand on Magnemite. As Venonat goes for a Magnet Bomb, leaving for Venomoth getting knocked out. As Kogan goes for Golbat, which takes out the weakened Magnemites. As Ash calls upon Cubone. In case you're wondering, Cubone takes out the ball like Pikachu does in canon. As then Team Rocket interrupts the battle. But as Cubone sees in, the Spectral Flame activates, which piques Koga's interest. As Cubone uses Shadow Bone to send Team Rocket blasting off. As Koga tries giving Ash a Soul Badge, but Ash doesn't feel like he earned it. So Koga decides to introduce his daughter, or Janine, and have her child with Ash to test to see if she's ready to take over the gym leader in the gym one day. As she's revealed to have a Venonat and a Zubat. As he starts adoring Cubone, as who decided to travel together. As Ash promises to come back and earn that soul badge. As Koga comes coughing to Janine, it's a parting gift. As Ash and Janine head to Celadon City, After a few weeks of traveling, and Janine catching a female Nidoran, and Ash catching a Tauros in the Safari Zone. As Ash and Janine arrive, as they meet a trainer and Celadon, as they meet a trainer named Gary. As he challenges Ash to a battle, as Ash uses Cubone, as Gary uses his War Turtle. As Cubone is on the back foot, as this angers Cubone, causing the Spectral Flame to activate, which piques Gary's interest, as Gary asks if he can travel with Ash, as Ash and Janine agree, as then Cubone bops War Turtle. As Ash down to the gym, as Erica tells Ash in a 3v3, as Ash uses Magikarp, Haunter, and Tauros. As Ash into the Magikarp, up against Tangela. Yeah, scratch that Tauros part. Yeah, Tauros is meant to be Cubone. As Ash into Magikarp against Tangela, which doesn't do too well against it, as Ash calls it back for Haunter. This knocks out Tangela with Shadow Claw. That's nice. It fights Weepinbell as Haunter goes for Shadow Ball. As Weepinbell fights Solar Beam, it's a knockdown of Haunter. As it knocks out Magikarp as well, as Ash and a Cubone knocks out Garrett, a Weepinbell. And instead of train Gary's Growlithe beforehand for a Flamethrower, you can actually learn it by TM. As Erica into her last Pokemon, Gloom. As Team Rocket arrives, as Cubone uses the Spectral Flame again, which sends them blasting off. Meaning Jin never catches on fire, and Ash finishes off Gloom. As Gloom and Cubone, as Ash then gets the Rainbow Badge. Let's leave on this timeline for now. So remember, there's no like goal for this part. Just want to see how this one does. Also, subscribe. Our ultimate goal is 1K subs for when you're making videos. So I get on out of here. Peace.